in this part of the world is the command and control system. So you don't question the authority, you don't question the leaders. Whatever they do is like God has spoken and nobody can challenge them. So these are the things we have to. So we have to involve community engagement and be resilient among the communities. It will go a long way. Traditional leaders should have a stakeholder meetings, a community building, because they have to have it. They have this in Nigeria. If Nigeria is not secure, where do you have to go? You know, we have another place, and Nigeria is one of the biggest countries in Africa, the largest in Africa, and the whole world is watching us and watching us.
All right.
Watch us the way.
I mean, Dr. Aigbe, I need to cut in here. I mean, you've talked about community engagement and as a way to, of course, ensure that a permanent solution is found to this problem. But how about the aspect of restitution? What do I mean? I've said this before, you know, on the program, where like what we saw in South Africa during the apartheid when Mandela came in and he had the families.
The commission.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
This commission was led by late Desmond Tutu.
Exactly. So, I mean, because I've said this before on the program, I served on the plateau and I witnessed the crisis myself. I remember meeting a 19-year-old boy then by the name of Michael, who told me that he wasn't going to run anymore, but this time around he was ready to kill people because they had killed his friends and they had killed people he knew. And for that reason, he saw that avenue as an opportunity to carry out his own revenge. So that's to tell you that that's deep-seated. That's beyond military offensive. You know, that has to do with healing, right? Psychological and also emotional healing. So I would also want to put that to you. Don't you think that the government or private bodies should also factor that kind of arrangement in resolving these issues from the root cause?
Yes, that's what we said. Civil society organizations will play that primary role because you don't shift all the burden to government alone. And you know, government, they don't give accounts of whatever they do, and the accountability of the government is not very high level of corruption in the system. So civil society can play a role. Stakeholders, they come together, and civil society have really played that role in doing advocacy, public alignment. We have the National Orientation Agency in the country, in Abuja. That's what those days I was growing up, I used to talk MAMSA. Whatever you do, always think Nigeria. I remember those days in Radio Nigeria, before you come to the network news on Radio Nigeria, they do that MAMSA awareness, creating awareness of people. But see, National Orientation Agency is not playing that role again. You know, so we can see that Nigeria has this diminishing return in Nigeria is affecting our national cycle. I talk of national ethos, you know, values, morals. We don't have that again. We have anomie, one of the theories in criminology. Anomie, there's no the society doesn't have the norms again. There's no value again. You see boys going to Yahoo, somebody telling me what's the use of going to school? What is this going to be having a PhD? When you can easily make money in society, in churches, you see Yahoo boys donating money in churches, and you see the values, the anomie, and then don't talk about anomie, collapse of the society. That's why we see a lot of criminality in the country, and people don't want to make money out of whatever it takes to make money. Nobody decides to ask where you get money from. They just celebrate you and honor you. So that's a deterioration of our national ethos and values and ethics. So that's why we talked about, that's why national education should be able to talk to the responsibility. That's a civil society too. I would say civil society have really done a lot in trying to, your government cannot do everything alone because you don't have to shift responsibility to government alone. So we have a stake together. I'm one of the CSO, I do some orientation.
Dr. Aigbe, I'm sorry. I might just need to interrupt you briefly so that we can take opinions of Ambassador Melvin Eje on this one. Ambassador, I understand that you want to react to some of the things that Dr. Aigbe has said, particularly, you know, in the first half. Please feel free to do so. And also tell us other avenues you feel the government and also private institutions can explore in finding a lasting solution to the problem, the security situation on the plateau.
Let me start with the issue of military funding, like my brother here said. I want to completely distance myself from his assertion. He's well-learned, a PhD holder, I'm very sure about that issue. The difference between budgetary allocation and budgetary provision and allocation of funding to the agency or the parasta or the military is actually, they are two different things. It's not enough to budget 11 trillion. How much was released to these agencies? I'm speaking from high fact. I have very good facts, and I'm sure of my fact. You're a journalist. You can take your findings to the Federal Ministry of Finance and find out when last the soldiers on the streets on operations are paid. Now, the last federal government was not very deliberate about security. It's not enough to approve 11 trillion or 18 trillion for the armed forces in the previous year while as a president. How much was released to them? How much actually went to equipment? How much actually went to the allowances? Even if these allowances are paid, it is actually very demeaning for a private soldier today is to be paid 1,200 naira per day, where a driver in some private organization are paid 30,000 naira as DTs. When an average Nigerian soldier travel is paid less than 3,000 naira a day. Which country does that? Which country takes security serious and does that? So we're not talking about budgetary allocation. Our prayers is that I know that the government we have on the plateau